Assalamu alaikum, hi everyone, and welcome back to my career series part 2. If you haven't checked out part 1 already, the link will be in the description box below. And this is really just my opportunity to kind of share with you the journey that I've gone on through my education and career thing, leading up to my maternity leave, which I am now on kind of days of countdown. So when I graduated from university, I had this overwhelming sense of achievement. Like, it had been a really, really amazing 3 years of my life. I'd met a lot of people, I'd learnt a lot of things. And what really stayed with me was the friendships that I had during that time. But I'm a realistic person, and I know, and I think I always knew throughout that time, that the people that had come into my life were more than likely just in my life for that specific period. You know, there's people that come into your life and you know that you're going to know them forever and you're going to grow old knowing them. And there are people that come into your life and you know that they're there for a short time, and although you really enjoy and embrace those relationships with those people, you kind of just accept that you're in a bubble, in a moment of your life. And that's exactly what it was like with the majority of my friends at university. It's, you know, we had the most kind of fulfilling friendships and experiences together as a group of people and as individuals. But we kind of probably knew that we were going to grow up and go our separate ways, and we maybe wouldn't see each other again, or we wouldn't share things in quite the same way. And that's okay, you know, that's part of life. I was happy with that. So I would actually say that out of all the people that I spent time with at uni, there's only one person who is still a humongous part of my life, and that person has been a real inspiration to me, kind of both personally and professionally. And you know, over the years, she's been my colleague, she's been my counsellor, she's been my bridesmaid. She's helped me in my professional development, in my personal development. She's also very artsy, so she has kind of really influenced me with my creativity and that side of my growing process, if you. Well, the significance and relevance of this is, you know, that sometimes it's not about the jobs that you do and it's not about the courses that you study, but it's about the people that you meet along the way, and it's about the things that they can bring to your life. And whether that's, you know, to help you understand yourself better or to help you be able to give something to somebody else, people do come into your life for a reason, and they can really help shape your character and shape the person that you become. And you can really learn from people out there and grow together. So, you know, it's definitely like throughout all of my career and my education, I've always been drawn to people. And people are what motivate me, and people are what interest me and inspire me. And it's the relationships that I form with people that help me keep learning about the world. So after university, I spent some time working on a young person's inclusion project in London. And I also spent some time working as a nanny with a little girl that had autism. But I was really feeling like my life was lacking direction. I'd had this big kind of chunk of time where I'd spent this 3 years studying, and at the end of it I didn't really know what to do. I didn't really know which direction to go in, and I was kind of just floating. So I decided to take myself off travelling around the world, as you do. And it was during this time that I had some real awakening moments, you could say, and that's when I feel like I really got my work experience and my life experience as well. So I travelled to many different countries, you know, most of the time just for pleasure and kind of experiencing the different parts of the world and the people. Moved on to Thailand and spent a lot of time going around the many different beautiful, stunning islands of Thailand. And I settled in my absolute favourite spot, which was Koh Tao. Had a really amazing experience in Koh Tao. I learned to scuba dive. I met incredible people, ate incredible food, you know. I found a local primary school, and I just walked along there one day and asked if I could do some voluntary work whilst I was there. And they had a team of people who were teaching English as a second language, and they were like more than happy for me to join them and to kind of just get involved in some of the lessons that they were teaching. And you know, the education system in Thailand is very different, and children are educated until they're 12 years old, and that is it. And they can only continue their education if their parents have enough money to send them to a bigger place like Bangkok. So, you know, you feel this kind of like energy and excitement in the school. Like, these kids really, really love learning. Like, they're excited to learn, they're excited to be there, and they're incredibly disciplined at the same time. So it was very, very different experience for me to kind of walk into a classroom and see children just go, you know. So there was one man on Koh Tao in particular that really, really touched my heart. And if any of you have ever been travelling and have been to this island, you will know this man, guaranteed. We called him the Pancake Man, because he had a little kind of caravan, pancake caravan, where he sold pancakes, funnily enough. I'm going to show a little picture of him now. You know, through just intrigue, I guess, that I started chatting to him. And, you know, he told me that he did the night shift, and basically he would go home in the morning when everyone had gone to bed, and he would go to bed himself, and his wife would take the pancake caravan and she would go to a different part of the island and she would sell pancakes throughout the day. And, you know, I said to him, but why? You know, why are you working all of these hours? And, you know, you sleep while your wife works and your wife sleeps while you work. And when do you ever see your wife? They literally worked 24 hours a day, round the clock between them, to pay for the education of their oldest son, in a hope that he was going to better his life, and, you know, maybe that would impact on the rest of the family and the other children. And that just absolutely touched my heart. You know, at the time I remember thinking, what kind of life is that, you know, to just every single day of your life go out to work and never have that quality time as a family. But it was just overwhelming that as parents they were willing to basically give up their lives and dedicate every part of themselves into providing for their youngest little boy. Couldn't speak any English, and whilst I was there, I made him a book, like teaching him, you know, things like the seasons, the weather, the colours, like little things like that. And it was just so sweet, you know, to just be able to do something so small. And when I gave him the book before I left the island, like, the guy was nearly crying. I mean, it was amazing. You know, all I'd done was drawn a few pictures, coloured a few things in, written a few words. Like, for me it was nothing major, but I do not know and realise how lucky we are. And it's only when you take yourself to small, tiny little pockets of the world that you see how people really live, you know, and we should be so grateful for what we've got. So my travelling adventure ended in South Africa. I went to embark on a voluntary project for an arts charity called Mad About Art. It was an art therapy centre that was set up to tackle the problem of HIV and AIDS through arts education programmes. And the majority of the people that I met there either had or were affected by the disease. In the township where the centre was based, lived in very, very minimal conditions, very poor conditions. They had wooden shacks. They had electricity if they were lucky. They would collect their water from a well every day. And at the centre itself there was a soup kitchen where they cooked kind of freshly homemade soup every day, and they served like one bowl of soup per person each day. And, you know, for some of the families that was the only meal that they ate, that was the only thing that they could get there. So what was so remarkable about this place was the sense of community and people taking a genuine love and care and support for each other. And that despite them having very, very little, these people were happy, and they were genuinely from the bottom of their hearts happy and grateful for everything that they had. So the aim of the project and the purpose behind me being there was to set up a series of workshops with the young people, teaching them kind of acting skills, performance skills, with a view to putting on a show which used puppetry. And it was basically like a health education performance piece of theatre. The performance was then going to tour around the community and around local schools to spread the message and spread the awareness. The young people that I worked with on this project were absolutely amazing young people, and I was so kind of like touched and overwhelmed by how they embraced like theatre and performance and expressing themselves, and you know, they took the challenge like by the hand and just went for it. And so following on from traveling, I knew that I really wanted to help people, and I really wanted to use the arts to do that, and I wanted to explore ways of working with people and communities that maybe hadn't been explored before. So I enrolled on a course at Goldsmiths University, an MA programme in applied drama. And that is basically using theatre, arts, performance in non-theatrical spaces, in the community, as education, as social development. And it's really taking it out of its traditional kind of setting and using it in spaces and using it as a tool to help create change, really. And that's kind of what was driving me, is that I felt that there were things that needed to change, and maybe the arts could be this real powerful tool to enable change. And that is what I'm going to talk about in my next episode, is my time on my MA programme and the things that I learned where my kind of dissertation and thesis took me. And during the time of my MA is when I started the job that I'm currently in. So it will all start to make sense, I'm sure. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're finding this series vaguely interesting. It just gives a little perspective on you know, where I've come and what I've learned along the way. But I hope you'll keep watching. Please like the video and comment if you have anything that you want to feed back to me. So until next time, take care. Salam alaikum.